Greetings the internet, I am Eric Grooms, the Film Score Fanatic, here with a review for Dr. Sleep for you. So I went and saw Dr. Sleep yesterday, and simply put, I was very pleased with the film. Ewan McGregor is one of the finest actors that we have right now, that is working right now. And he does not disappoint. He puts on quite a show, in my opinion. I don't know how to word this. I believed that he was the same character as the little Danny from The Shining. So that's, just a credit to his acting ability. This is one of those performances where I wasn't seeing Ewan McGregor after the initial, scene that he was in. After that, I believed that he was this character and that he had experienced those things. So great performance by him and many others. Rebecca Ferguson is great as the villain, or the main villain. Yeah, I loved it. I was really happy with the way that they decided not to do the whole current the current trend of bringing the characters back from the old movies in some digital way. There was one moment in the film that they literally showed a moment from The Shining, and that actually kind of took me out of it for a second. It's the only time they show anything from the original. Well, I shouldn't say that. There may be another. But there was one time that they showed Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall, and it's the famous moment where, he looks through the window. Or not the window, the door that he's broken open. But anyway, but they did show the characters, those characters with different people casts. So I appreciated that for the mere fact that they trust the audience enough to understand that these are the same characters, and due to this being a film made 40 something years later, 50, is it almost 50 years later? They're going to be different people playing the parts if they're supposed to be the same age. So there was a lovely surprise appearance from what's his name, Henry Thomas, in wonderful 70s hair and makeup. I come to find out that it makes perfect sense that Henry Thomas makes an appearance in this show because he has worked with the director. Mike Flanagan directed this film, and his other most notable credit is Netflix's fantastic horror series, The Haunting of Hill House, from last year. In which Henry Thomas plays a man from, is it in the 70s in that show? I think it might be in the 60s or 70s is when they do the flashbacks. Maybe it's not that far back. It seems like it was. Yeah, he makes a nice little appearance that's pleasant in the knowledge of the choices that they made for a casting standpoint. The entire film obviously references The Shining throughout, but it especially gets ramped up in the third act. I'm not going to give away too much, but it really starts to heavily reference the predecessor in the third act, to the point that there was one moment that they were referencing from the original that I thought was unnecessary. So that one moment kind of took me out of it, and it actually felt like a decision made in the editing bay that they could have. They probably contemplated, like, should we cut this? It's not necessary, but then they made the decision, like, oh yeah, we want that in there. So one detractor for that bit, but for the most part, it was quite entertaining and appropriate. I felt like the abundance of references in that last act. There were some visual moments in this movie, the way they visualized some of the metaphysical things that were happening with these characters, that I found really inspiring from a filmmaking standpoint. Like, that was just very cool ideas of how this would look and feel. So all in all, I thought it was a fantastic sequel, but on its own right, I thought it was a fantastic film by itself. So I definitely recommend that you go and see this film in the theater. It's quite an entertaining time, and I wish it was doing a little bit better at the box office. I think this is kind of one of those situations where there's just too many other things out. I know for a fact for myself, there's like 6 movies right now that I need to see, and I go to the movies a lot. You know, I am not the regular person. I see a lot of movies. For the last 3 weeks, I've seen multiple movies in every week, and there just isn't enough time to see all of them. You know, especially if you have a day job. This is not my main gig. I got to pay the bills some other way. So, but you know, here's hoping that maybe it has some legs, and the audience finds it at some point. I certainly think it's worthy of everyone's time. So, did you see it? Did you like it? Comment down below. Let me know what you thought, and if you agree with my thoughts and opinions. As always, please give me any feedback you can. Like and subscribe. That'll always be helpful to my little baby channel as it tries to grow, and I appreciate whatever help you can give. So I have been the Film Score Fanatic, and I will talk to you next time.